Welcome. It's currently 12:12. That is the number of the eagle. Welcome to the Black Eagle, UGOJI. Welcome, welcome. CHIMAOGE here once again. I'll wait till the 1 minute mark and then I'll confirm with a short that I have liftoff. Nsabruka, Nsabruka, Iwe, Ka, Kamjidiwe, Kamwiwe, Anemewiwe, Abumiwe, Anemewiwe, Abumiwe, Iwe, Abumiwe, Iwe, Abumiwe, ha, Iwe, Abumiwe, Abumopare Iwe, Shangiwe, Amadioha, Abum Iwe, Anemewiwe, Abum Iwe, Anemelechi, Ka, Oshimiri, Abumoshimiri, Anemeshimiri, Abumoshimiri, Shimri, Ka, Abumoshimiri, Anemeshimiri, Abumoshimiri, Ha, Abumoshimiri, Anemeshimiri, Ha, He, Abumoshimiri, Ka, Abumoshimiri, Ha, Abumoshimiri, Nako Karatata, Abumoshimiri, Mone Memory, Noah, Abumoshimiri, Ha, He, Abumoshimiri, Call Mazake, Abumoshimiri, Mone Memory, Noah, Abumoshimiri, Ka, Abumoshimiri, Nimi, Hiye, Ha, Abumoshimiri, Kake, Abumoshimiri, Kake, Ha. Abumoshimiri, Baba, Abumoshimiri, Mone Memory, Noah, Abumoshimiri, Nako Kaka, Abumoshimiri, Baba, Abumoshimiri, Mone Kamazake, Abumoshimiri, Ha, Abumoshimiri, Nako Karata, Abumoshimiri, Mone Mihenua, Abumoshimiri, Baba, Abumoshimiri, Amamadio, Abumoshimiri, Amokike Kaka, I am Moshimri Kaka. I am Moshimri Karakana Hua. I am Moshimri Amamadi Yoha. Abu Moshimri Shimri Ha He. Abu Moshimri Shimri Papa. Abu Moshimri Mone Biano Hua. Abu Moshimri Mone Biazan Hua. Abu Moshimri Shimri Papa. Abu Moshimri Shimri Ha. Abu Moshimri Mone Memory Nua. Abu Moshimri Shimri Ha. Abu Moshimri Mone Mihe Hua. Moshimri Pa. Abu Moshimri Mone Mihanu Wa. Abu Moshimri Nekezenu Ha. Abu Moshimri Mone Senso Neba. Abu Moshimri Mone So Neba. Alright, I've shared the live stream. Once again, CHIMAOGE here. The topic today is going to be the disgraced former Michigan coach SHERRONE Moore. I'm going to get into it in a second. First, let me fully confirm that I am broadcasting here on CHIMAOGE's comments. Let's go to that. Alright, I've confirmed it. I'm here. I see I registered a bunch of viewers over the past couple minutes. Thank you very much. Every view is a blessing. I see the comments as well and the like. Thank you very much. They're all blessings. Every like, share, and subscription is a blessing. Please like, share, and subscribe. And comment if you wish. I read comments at my discretion. Thank you to the returning people. For the new people, let me give you 4 pieces of information to help you understand me better after I take stuff out of my pocket. Kala kanumere ha. Kala kanumere hanua. Abu Mamadiyo he ha. Abu Mamadiyo honey manua. Abu Mamadiyo habiazo baba. And I may be also ni me ha. Abu Makuka money biazo nua. All cocoa ne biazo kara. All cocoa ne biazo kara ya. Abu Mamadiyo honey me ha. Abu Mamadiyo sansone ba. Sansone beze kaka. Sansone ban keze ne ba. Abu Meza Wara Madiyo, Abu Meza Wara Kike Kaka, Abu Mokika Nomanike Nebaha, Abu Momanika Madiyo, Abu Mamadiyo, Abu Mamadiyo, Baba, Abu Mamadiyo, Abam Shango Kaka, Abu Mamadiyo, Abu Mokare Senua, kana kua. Kala kana mua. Kala kana bua. I am a madio ha. I am a madio ha he. All right. This is UGOJI. I'm going to at least the 70-minute mark. Let's go. 4 things about me to help the new people understand me. Let me even take this off. Abu Mamadiyo hiye ha. Abu Mamadiyo sansone ba. Sansone beze kashimuze. I am the Ezama Madiyo ha. Ezawara Madiyo ha. Abunam Nogo ha. Ajundim Nichundum. Calling in my past lives as well. First, my government name is CHIMAOGE Aka Ibe. Second, my given name is CHIMAOGE. Let me stand back. Third, my astrological sun sign is Capricorn. And fourth, I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's where I stand as well. I just gave you an extra. That's a graceful 5. Anyway, let's get into it. Let me just give my opening salvo, and then I'm going to come up with 4 more concrete points to nail down what I'm saying. You see, I don't follow college football. I never have. But I understand football well enough, and I understand the, I guess, overall rules and situation of college football well enough to kind of understand what's going on when it comes up in the news. I'll just leave it at that. University of Michigan is a very big program, okay? University of Michigan is a very big university. So when I heard about such a high-profile scandal involving a coach, I was shocked. But I didn't hear many details because I didn't immediately look into it, okay? Now, it looks like this scandal occurred 5 months ago about. This is currently May. From what I researched just before this live stream, it broke in December. And then most of the YouTube videos I've seen are labeled as happening 5 months from now. Again, it's currently May, I guess now 23rd of, or would this be 2020, this is May 22nd. I think this past day, because you know me, I'm not a fan of the Gregorian calendar, so the idea that the day is ended at midnight, it's not really for me. But anyway, I think this was the 21st. Yes, I think it was Thursday the 21st. Now we have, yes, Friday, May 22nd. Okay, this is early in the morning here technically. Let me put up another short. Anyway, point is I didn't see these reports at the time. It was really maybe last month to maybe 3 weeks ago I saw people talking about this. That just happens to be what I saw. And I heard reports of some sort of attempt to harm a woman that was involved in a quote-unquote affair. So I was very shocked. That sounds very serious. And then I heard something about a firing. So I did more research today, and I'm even more disturbed. Let me move. Yeah, it just took time to move. Again, I don't stand still when I'm reporting on things. So, here's the basic story. SHERRONE Moore, who is currently 40 years old, and he might have been 39 at the time this story broke, because that's what some of the videos I watched said he was a young, prominent head football coach at the University of Michigan. He'd won a national title, and he's a black man. And apparently, he is the first black man to have ever done that. Okay, that's what I heard. But then in December, he was fired amid reports of an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. He was then later arrested, after allegations that he stalked someone for months and broke into their house. That later turned out to be the staffer. What the staffer alleged is that they had a tumultuous, years-long relationship, And I just want to add this. I think we need more words to label different things, because at some point, if a relationship is abusive, I think we need to use other words. I'm not sure what word to use in English, but anyway, and certainly use words that don't demean the victim. But anyway, they had a tumultuous years-long relationship, and for context, Sharon Moore is married. And as always, when handling these cases, I just want to say two things. One, I'm not a proponent of monogamy. Monogamy is evil. So I don't think someone is bad just because they had multiple relationships. You should. But at the same time, too, the phenomenon that people refer to as cheating, when someone lies to their spouse about who they have relationships with outside of that relationship and hides that relationship or relationships, is not good. People should just be honest. And then the character it takes to cheat is not good. And when that manifests in leaders, again, Sharon Moore is a leader, that's to be taken note of. It's very bad. Let me move. Hooah, hooah, ha, ha. Hooah, hooah, ha, ha. Hooah, hooah, ha, 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 ha. Hooah, hooah, ha, ha. Yeah, ha. Papare ke zenu nuwa. Papare mone menu neba. Sansone baba. Sansone baba. Ka, ka, ka. Is it kam kizineba? Kam kizineba. Anyway. So the staffer who he had a relationship with alleged that she was pressured into the relationship. The relationship was not healthy. Many things happened, and that members of the administration had known about it for a while. She said it was an open secret. She gave an interview to ABC. You can check that out. There's a video on YouTube. It's about 8 minutes long. She gave an interview to ABC, alleging all this. So that's very disturbing. Michigan, of course, fired him. And then his wife called 911 around the same time that this scandal broke. It looked like that was part of it. Again, I'm still researching this. But his wife called 911 and alleged that he was trying to harm himself. And for further context, the woman who's alleging that um, the woman who's alleging, forgive me, I'm just thinking for a second. The woman who's alleging that he abused her said that he broke into her house because it looks like their relationship ended for a bit. So during that period, he was stalking her. He broke into her house, threatened to harm her, and then also threatened to harm himself before leaving. So a strange event. But anyway, his wife alleged that he was looking like he was going to harm himself. Investigators came to the house and he was arrested, and he was subjected to some sort of mental health test. I don't know exactly what the outcomes of that test were, but there were some videos of his arrest and the test. I saw some clips of it, and he just looked to be out of sorts. I'll just say it like that. So that's basically what's happened, and he's been charged with multiple crimes. I need to look at the full list of charges. And he's pleaded no contest to some lesser charges as of 2 months ago apparently. And it looks like his full trial is still gonna happen. I saw December. Maybe it'll happen in December. Anyway, so that's a lot. So that's the outline of what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna say two things. One, again, based off everything I've seen. Um, Based off everything I've seen, I'm leaning towards saying that he's guilty. But as with anything, before I see all the evidence, and again, I haven't even done full research on this. Before I see all the evidence, I don't want to put my full weight behind that. But he looks to be guilty. Okay, it seems hard to see how he'd be innocent. Two, I think that. I think it would be beneficial if people looked at the heart of the issue, because today I'm primarily going to address Sharon Moore himself, but I've seen the usual, at least they look to be the usual, but again I have to look again, the usual male supremacist types defending him. That's kind of when I first was hearing about the story, and they seem to reduce this story to a matter of him losing money because of romantic indiscipline. Again, I'm the king. When people make complicated, stupid arguments, I can't say too much, so I speak simply, even if it's jarring. I'm just gonna say this: the church boys need to grow up, okay? And I'll leave it at that. That's not it. Focus on the heart of the issue. A very serious crime was alleged to have been committed. You can't reduce stalking and attempted deletion, things of that nature, to whatever the pastor said Jesus didn't want you to do. Let's move. Neptune, God of the sea, I'm still walking. Neptune, God of the key. Abu Neptune, key, K-Ka. Abu Neptune, email. Abu Mahadi, Abu Mahadi, email. Abu Mahadi, Abu Abu Anyway, those are my initial two things. I just want to say that to frame everything else. But then I'm just gonna focus on the case itself. I might make other content about the discourse around Sharon Moore. I just need to do more research. It seems like people said a lot of stuff. But anyway, let me take time to form my leg. So I'll just be working as usual. When I'm working, I'm singing and thinking. When I'm thinking, I'm singing. So enjoy. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me give out a bonus piece of information. Let me get ready to put up a short. Kabunam Nongo Ha. Let's go. Eat orange powder. Eat orange powder. It's good for your overall well-being. Let's go. Abumamadio honey ha. Abumamadio sansoneba. Eat orange. Amadio ya ha. Abume bere mone bere neba. Abume bere mere sansoneba. Abume bere mone bine ha. Abume bere nekezenu noa. Abume bere nuanka. Abume bere mone bere ha. Abume bere nekezenu noa ha. Abume bere mone babe. Abume bere mone babe. Abume bere. Once again, bonus piece of information is about bonus. Eat bonus powder. Eat orange powder. Eat a bere. Let's go. Abuma madiyo ha hiye ha ha. Abuma madiyo ha kana hua. Abum kamla kaka kaka. Abum kamla kara kana hua. Amadio Hakaka, Abum Amadio Hanimeo, Abum Neptune, god of the sea, Abum Neptune, god of the key, Abum Nepto Kika, Neptune Meshabu Amadio Ha, Abum Neptune Ka, Abum Nepto Ke, Abum Nepto Paw Pe, Abum Neptune Nimeo Ha, Neptune Meshabu Amadio Ha, Abum Nepto Kika, Neptune Meshabu Amadio Ha. I am Neptune, god of the sea. I am Neptune, you see me. Ha, Neptune, ha, Neptune, ha. Keze kaka. Kankeze Neptune, wa. Araliza, that's somebody, ha. Once again, the bonus piece of information I'm giving out is that you should eat orange powder. It's good for your overall well-being. And I got the short up, let's go. Abuma madiyo ha hiye ha ha. Abuma madiyo ha nimeo ha. Kachi bwezibu madiyo ha ha. Kachi bwezibu kike kaka. Abumo kike kakaraya. Sharon Moore looks to be a terrible person. What's my leg to talk about it? Let's go. Abuma madiyo ha he hey ha. Abuma madiyo ha si say sa. Abuma madiyo ha ni we ya. Abuma madiyo ha ki gwe ya. Abum igwe amajo. Abum igwe okike ka. Abum igwe ni meora. Abum amadiyo ni hey ha. Abum amadiyo ye ha. Abum pare ikenu Abum pare mone sansone ba. Kashi buweze sansone beze. Abum bieze ni meora. Is the water madiyo ha. Is the water ni meora. Eze mone meze no ha. Abumo pare eze ka. Abumo pare eze kanuwa. Abumo pare eze be. Abumo pare eze pe. Abumo pare eze nime huwa. Aneme pare eze pa. Abum eze mone meze nuwa. Abum eze meze ha. Abum eze meze ha. Abum SMS keze nuwa. Abum amadi yohaneze nwa. Abum amadi yohaneze ka. Abum Hezekiah kiye ha. Abum Hezekiah nime uwa. Abum amadi yohiye ha. Abum amadi yohiye ha. Abum amadi yohanime uwa. Abum amadi yohiye ha. Abum kamalu kaka. Kamalu karana uwa. Kamalu mere ihuwa. Kamalu uwa. Abumuwa mone wankuwa. Abumuwa mone wanketa. Abumuwa mone wankuwa. Mone wanketa. Abumakunuba. Abumugoji mone moji nuba. Abumugoji karanoji ha. Abumugoji goji ga. Abumagui mone guihenuwa. Abumagui nekezenuwa. Abumagui mone sansoneba, washing away. Abumamadiyo ha. Ha. Abumamadiyo nkocha neba. Kala kana nke ocha. Kala kana ne uko ya. Abum oko amadiyo ha. Abum oko kike ka. Aneme koko. Abum oko. Aneme moko. Abum oko. Abumo para oko mone koko. Oko kan. Abum oko choko kan. Abum amadiyo ha. Abum kike ka. Ha. Hua ha. Abum mua do not kwaya. Abum amadiyo hanezea. Yes, and this will be the setup progression. Let's go. Ugh. Let me wipe my nose. Is it money, boy? Is it money? Yeah. Sansone Bezia, is a woman you is a boogie gaga, is what is it? Abumaparis is in a Abumaparis in email, Abumaparamora Sansoneba, Sansone Bezia, Sansone Bezeboa, is a Ganamadi, is a boogie jaja, Abumeze Nejija. Echichezu amadiyo Echichezu kika Abum eze nechijeka Abum amadiyo yeha. Alright, so the base idea of the leg is that Sherrone Moore, the ex-University of Michigan football coach, looks to be a terrible person. That's really the best I can sum it up. I really said horrible, because terrible means Shango. Abumamadiyo yeha Abumopare zenu nuwa Abumopare mone sanso neba Ezebu amadiyo ha Ezebu kike kaka Abumopare ime uwa ha Ezebu amadiyo ha Ezebu kike kaka Abum ezemone ma ha Ezebu sanso neba Sanso nebeze kaka Ezemere ihe ha 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 Ezemere ihe ha Ezemere ihe ha Abumo pardes ni meo ha Abumo paramone sansone ba Sansone beze kaka Sansone beze nuwa Abumo madio ye ha Abumo madio ni meo wa Abumo madio wa Abumo madio kaka Abumo madio kaka Abumo madio ye ha Abumo madio ni meo wa Abumo madio sansone ba Ezebuwa madio ha Ezebuwa madio ha Abumo pareze ni meo Ezemere ye ha Sansone bezeka Sansone bezenuwa Ezemere ye nuwa Abumo pareze ni meo Abumo pare kachiboze nuwa Kachibuweze buwa madio Kachibuweze buwa kike kaka Kachibuweze more ye nuwa Abumo madio hene kenya Abumo pare keke ni meo Abumo pare keke kiye ha Abumo pare keze kiye ha Abumo pare Hezekiah neba Hezekiah kaka kaka Abum Hezekiah ni meo ha Abumo madio hani meo Abumo madio sansone ba Sansone beze kaka Ezebuwa madio Ezebuwa kika. The leader is the god of thunder. The leader carries God of thunder. The leader carries the God of thunder. Ezebuwa madio Ezebuwa kike kaka. The leader booms out the God of thunder. The leader shines out the God of thunder. Kobu the God of thunder. Abuma madio ha. Abuma pare kizenu nuwa. Abuma madio hanenuya. Eze kare nuwa. Abuma pare ni mehua. Abuma pare mere sanso neba. Sanso nebeze kaka. Abuma pare ni mehua. Abuma pare ha. Abuma pare Hezekiah nuwa. Hezekiah. Abuma madio ha. Abuma Salamone se wo ha. Abuma Salamone se wo ha. Abuma Sala say sa. Abuma Salamone se wo uzuku. Osala, the fire of the land. Also Hellfire, Osebua, the fire that carries existence. That's his most complete name. The best name apparently is Osala, because, well, he just sets fire to the land to reset the button. Anyway, Abuma Mandi ha. Abuma Pareke Zenu Nua. Abuma Paramone Menua. Enu kaka. Enu kare enu nua ha. Enu kare nele ha. Abuma Paramone Kele Neba. Abuma Paramone Sanso Neba. Sansone beze ha. Ezengwere neze ha. Ezenese mese ha. Abu mese mese eze ha. Abu mese mese hiye ha. Abu mese mese Hezekiah ha. Hezekiah bu amadiyo ha. Hezekiah bu okike ka. Abu Hezekiah ni mea ha. Ha 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 he. Pa 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 pe. Ba 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 be ka. Amadiyo ha. Ha. Hua hua ha ha. Hua hua ha ha. All right, my first point, why he looks like a terrible person, because that's the thesis. Sherrone Moore looks like a terrible person. One, the testimony, I'm just going to call it that, because, you know, anytime someone gives their story, that's testimony. I know it wasn't in court. The testimony of his, and I'll just call it alleged victim. And that's not to slander her. It's just, you know, I haven't seen all the facts yet. That's it. Okay, but her story's credible. And credible just means it's believable. You shouldn't just throw it away. Anyway. Abu Mamadiyo ye ha. Abu Mopade Kezenua. Abu Moparamona Sansoneba. Sansonebe Kaka. Is it Madiyo? Is it Woki Kaka? Is it where he had? Is it where he had? Abu Mamadiyo Hamadiyo. Abu Mamadiyo Hanimeo. Kawa Kanu Kaka. Kawa Kanu Kaka. Abu Mamadiyo ye ha. Abu Mopare Kezenua. Abu Moparamona Sansoneba. Sansonebe Zeha. Is it where he had? Is it Ka? Abu Meze Nime Oha. Anime Beze. Abu Meze Kachi Bueze. I am the Eze. Is it where he had? Is it where he had? Abu Mamadiyo Neze ha. Abu Mamadiyo ye ha. Abu Mamadiyo Hamadiyo Hamas. Abu Mamadiyo Hakaka. Abu Mamadiyo Mas. Abu Mamadiyo Mas. Abu Mamadiyo Mas. 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 Ama ka. Mas. Ka. Mas. Ka. Mas. Abu Mamadiyo Hu. Abu Mamadiyo Bon Cashew. Abu Mamadiyo ye ha. Abu Mamadiyo Hanimeo ha. Abu Mamadiyo Hamone Boaha. Alright, then the last reason, because as usual, I start with the first and last reason. You can see my paper here is developing. This is my right hand. You see it as you see it. This is my left hand. You see it as you see it. This is the top left corner when I'm looking at it, but as you see it, that would be the top. Or my bad, it's the top right corner when I look at it, but as you see it, that's the top left. And then this is the opposite. Anyway. Last reason he looks bad. Nk'Ekwensu. Let's see. Nk'Ekwensu. What is it? I had it for a second. Basically, I will say the fact that he was fired, really. That makes him look bad. Because it takes a lot for those organizations to fire their employees because of personal, I'll just say that type of personal conduct. They usually don't do it. It's actually kind of a flaw, but they usually don't do it. So if they saw fit to do it, that looks bad. I'll just put U of Mish chose to fire him. I'll just say more. Abu Mamadiyo Hanimeo ha. Abu Mamadiyo Haneke Kaka. Abu Meke Amadiyo ha. Ekebu Amadiyo ha. Ekebu Okike ka. Abu Mopare Kenimeo ha. Abu Mopare Zenimeo ha. Everywhere he had no one. Everywhere he had no one. Kabrinam Tia, Abu Methany Mea, Abu Methaman Hezekiah Buamadia, Hezekiah Medianua, Osa Medisanso Nevaka, Kamala Kaka, who Kamala Karana Uwa, Abu Mamadio Yeha, Abu Mamadio Animea, Abu Mamadio Yeha, Kamalu Kaka, Kamalu Karana Uwa, Kamalu Kika. Kamalusi say sa Abu Mamadi ye Abu Mamadi ye Abu Korea Kaka Abu Korea Nimea Abu Mamadi Hamas Amadi Karanuwa Kamalu Kaka yeah Kamalu Karana Uwa yeah Kamalu Kika yes Kamalusi say sa Abu Kamalu na Iwe Iwe Abu Iwe Karenua Abu Kare Iwe Lua Abu Mamadi Anyway Abu Mamadi Ye ha oh ye ha Abu Mamadi Abu Mamadi Ye ha Abu Kare Anyway Abu Paramana Mihendua Abu Paramana Mihendua Abu Kamalu Kaka Abu Kamalu Karanua Abu Kamalu Gigaka Abu Kamalu Caesar Abu Kamalu Kaka Kamala Kaka Kamala Noa Hey Kamala Kaka Who is a boy Maduha Ha is a boy Kika Is it Kaka Kankeze Nebezenua Abu Mezo Aramadioha. As always, you can support me. 2 ways I've highlighted. 1, Venmo. Okay, that's first in the description. My Venmo is at OZBangWoko. 2, buy my art. Buy my art on Patreon. Links to all of those are in the About section. Let's go. Kamalu Kaka. Kamalu Karana Uwa. Kamalu Kikeka. Kamalu Siseka. I am Kamalu the animal Nebaha. I am a Kamalu animal ha. I am a Kamalu animal ha ha. I am a Kamalu animal ka. Who Amadiyu he ha. Abu Mamadiyu Hanive ya. Abu Mamadiyu he ha. Abu Mamadiyu Hamadiyu Hamas. Abu Mamadiyu ka. Abu Mamadiyu ka nuwa. Let's see. What's the leg reason? The base of the leg. Why he looks bad. Um. Abum Mamadiyo Hanimeoha. Abum Kashibu Wezenua. Kashibu Wezebereze ha. Kashibu Wezebereze kaya. Abum Mamadiyo Wezekaya. Abum Paruwepu Wezekaka. Abum Kawepu Wezenua. Wepu Wepezi Henu Wanka. Abum Mamadiyo Ye ha. Abum Mamadiyo Hanigwe ya. Abum Igomone Migwe Nuba. Abum Igomone Sanzo Neba. Abum Igwe Nuha. Abum Igomone Menu Nema. Abum Igomone Miheneba. Abum Igomone Miheya. Abum Mamadiyo Heya. Abum Mamadiyo Hanekeya. Abum Mamadiyo Heya. Abum Paregini Meua. Abum Parezini Meua. Ezebu Amadiyo. Ezebuoki Keka. Abum Mezemone Mezeneba. Abum Mezenese Kaka. Abum Mesemeze ha. Esemeze ha. Ka. San so nuwa. Abum Mamadio. I'm still thinking. Abum Mamadio he ha. Abum Mamadio he meo ha. Abum Mamadio he ha. Abum Mamadio. Abum Mamadio about passion. Yes, I see it now. The leg is the fact that he pled no contest to the lesser charges in court. And I guess the Ikenga's the fact he got arrested. Okay. Abumamadiyo ye. Abumamadiyo honeymail. Abumamadiyo honeywail. San so neighbor. San so nebeze ha. Ezengwere eze ha. Abumopare eze n'ime ha. Eze nwere ihe n'ụwa. Eze na-eme ihe mma. Eze nwere ihe ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Alright, this isn't that, well, let me not say that. Anyway, I got them. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo n'ime ha. Abumopare eze n'ụwa. Abumopare mone sanso neba. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo nkeke ha. Abum eke amadiyo ha. Eze eke bumamadiyo ha. Eke buoki ike ha. Abumopare eke n'ime ha. Abumopare eze n'ime ha. Abumamadiyo amadiyo ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo n'ime ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumopare eze n'ime ha. Abumopare mone ihe n'ụwa. Abumopare eze ihe ha. Abumopare eze n'ụwa. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze mere ihe n'ụwa. Abumopare eze ihe ha. Abumopare eze kaya n'ụwa. Hezekiah ka. Ooh, Hezekiah ka n'ụwa. Ooh, Hezekiah ka n'ụwa. Hezekiah ka ihe ha. Hezekiah mere ihe ha. Abumamadiyo ha n'eze ha. Abum eze ka. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Eze mere ihe ha. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze bumamadiyo ha. Eze buokike ka. Abum eze mone meze noa. Abum eze nesemese ka. Abum esemese eze ka. Abum esemese eze ka. Abum Hezekiah kie kaka. Eze juneba. Kankeze neba. Neptune tete hoha. Osa. Venus so ya ha. Abumamadiyo homone boa. Abumamadiyo honeywe ya. Abumamadiyo hasisa. I just had a thought. Whenever I've read Greek and Roman mythology, and this is off the main topic, but I just felt like sharing it. Whenever I've read Greek and Roman mythology, it's been interesting to me that even though it's obvious based upon the definition of the archetype that Venus and or Aphrodite is supposed to be the best woman, they don't specify who her main man is. But then they always say she came from the sea. Now, in relation to Venus, who I've revealed previously is a saint that is part of the thing Oshun, that supports the thesis that the love of her life is Neptune, because of course Neptune is the god of the sea. So it's like they have a close association. Because again, when you talk about people coming out of things, it can be metaphorical. So like that doesn't literally mean, like Neptune is her father. That's not what it is. And also keep in mind in other realms, like creation can happen differently. I'll just say it like that. Okay, so just don't be weird when you're hearing this. But those stories of Venus and or Aphrodite coming out of the sea seem to imply that if you relate it to Venus, that this saint was born out of a thing that has command over the seas. That would be a Madioha, right? And then there is a principle that saints tend to have a common origin with the loves of their lives. Because again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Everyone who has a love of their life, and I'll go into this later, but my ancestors told me that it's not actually just Onishiala that doesn't have a love of their life. Technically, that's complicated. Anyway, most people do. And again, those people, it's not like they don't have relationships. They actually need more. But anyway, and let me just leave that there. But anyway, the whole point is for like the 95% of people who have a love of their life, right? they were joined together with them at the beginning of their existence, and then Shuku had to separate them, and then they have to find their way back to each other. That happens in the spirit realm. On Earth, like once you're adults, you just meet, right? But anyway, the whole point is that that principle applies to all people, whether they're exact people like me and you, or saints like Neptune and Shango that can exist, and Venus also. And let me name one more. The Washer also is also a saint. Think of the animal, the squirrel. Those are animals anyway. Um, those people who can exist in multiple places and multiple bodies at once, it's also the same principle. Anyway, I was just thinking of that. But there's this trend in a lot of quote unquote mythologies, but even more so in the way people tend to present them. And there might be a lot of Christianity in that. I need to do a little research, but I'm not that interested in that. There's a trend of trying to downplay the greatness of Oshun, aka Venus, aka Aphrodite. And the principle tends to be this idea that a woman who enjoys being in romantic relationships and enjoys pleasure, and I'll just say it like that, is somehow bad or childish. That's just nonsense. Anyway, I'm just thinking that. Let me move. Up my deal, and let me put up the short. Abu Mama deal, yeah. Abu Mo Padane is anywhere. Abu Mo Padamone, yeah. Abu Mo Padamone, yeah. Abu Mo Padamone, yeah. Ekizenu, yeah. Ekizenu, yeah. Abu Mo Padane, Ekizenu, and Abu Mama deal. Abu Mama deal, yeah. Abu Mama deal, yeah. Abu Mama deal, yeah. Come on. Come on, look at it. Come on, look at it. Come on, look at it. I'm moving you, yeah. 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 Come on, look at Sansone busy. Abu Hashi Bueze, Abu Eze Amadio, Eze Maramadio, Eze Buoki Keka, Abu Eze na Igwe, Igwe Meshabu Amadio. Anyway. All right. Let me present my leg. Once again, thank you to everyone who's joined me so far, and thank you to everyone who's going to join me in the future. So here it is, and then I'm going to work for the rest of this time. So Sherrone Moore looks like a horrible person. Again, this will be presented on the aggression segment, the second ever one. Here are the 4 main reasons why I say he looks like a horrible person. Let me call in my spiritual support once again. Yes, come do all 4. First, the testimony of his alleged victim, and again, I'm saying alleged victim because English is an unwieldy language. I don't know what else to say, but that's not a slight on her. The testimony of his alleged victim makes him look bad, okay? She detailed numerous things that made him look bad. It's just hard to see, how that wouldn't correspond to something bad having happened. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, full investigation still be done, but So that's 1. 2, and I'm going counterclockwise on my page, starting in this corner, okay, and from my perspective. 2, Sherrone Moore looks like a horrible person because of the fact that he pled no contest in court. Again, I haven't looked at all the charges, but apparently a couple months ago he pled, or was it a couple days ago? Anyway, not that long ago, there was a hearing in court and he pled no contest to some lesser charges. In other words, the law said he did this thing, some amount of lesser things, and he just said no comment. So essentially, it looks like he's letting them just basically letting them say he's guilty or something like that. Again, I have to look into the specificities, but he didn't plead not guilty. He pled no contest. Let me move for a second. Sansone beze kaji buweze IMB eze amamadiyo eze buwamadiyo eze buwankikeka abum eze meze ha abum meze ha abum meze ha eze mere yenuwa eze mere biha abum mone bihenka eze mere ye eze beze bobe abum mime bobe abum mone zewa ziye baba abum ziye nelihemma ziye hemma abum parziye kaka. Third, he looks bad because he got arrested. And let me just say this. I've said it many times, I'll say it again. The law in this world is not perfect. There's no country that has perfect law. There are many flaws in it. There are many flaws in policing. So just because someone got arrested does not mean they're guilty. At the same time, it just looks bad to get arrested because most people don't get arrested. And then especially when you're looking at rich and famous and powerful people, most of them don't get arrested. So it looks bad. Again, I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope you're all intelligent enough to know what I'm saying. It's a piece of evidence, not the conviction. Let me move. And then the fourth, again, I always just take a break to move. And we're almost at the 1 hour mark. Okay. And then the fourth and final reason that he looks bad is the fact that the University of Michigan chose to fire him. And again, I just want to spend some time on this. You see, let me talk about the culture of higher level sports. You see, the culture of higher level sports, and I'll really say it begins at the high school level. I just want to say this. Anyone who last played quote unquote organized sports at the high school level, and I know other countries might use different terminology because I'm speaking with terminology used in the U.S. Again, I'm in the U.S. That's where I went to school. I know other places they call it secondary school. In other languages, they might use different words. But basically, the school you go to up until the age of at least 17 in most places. In the U.S., that would be 18. Anyone who last played sports there needs to give themselves more respect. That's high level sports. And I'll leave it at that. But what I'm getting at here is that anyone who's played at that level can really understand basically what goes on at the college and professional level. Let me move. That's a madio. Abumamadio yeha. Abumamadio animeo. Abumamadio kana. Anyway, so what am I getting at here? In higher level sports, the culture, and I'm just using English, but I just want to note I don't like English. I think it just doesn't give the right emotion to things. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, The culture at high level sports is very hyper masculine, and just there's a lot of clout chasing, and I'll just say that. So what does that mean? There's an obsession over making very, and I don't know how to say it, just very fratty men look good. Let me move. Anyway, so we have that obsession with making certain men look good. And because of that, even when they engage in the kind of misconduct you'd expect that goes along with that character, they tend to, one, not get exposed, and two, they definitely don't tend to get sufficient. Um, I don't like using the word punishment. I don't like that concept. I'll just say it like this: they tend just not to face justice. Okay. Um, an example of this is, um, for example, there have been some high profile cases where professional athletes, male professional athletes, have physically assaulted other people, and maybe they've only been suspended for like a month. You know, if something like that happens, you should just get terminated. You know, let me move. Anyway, I hope you get what I'm saying. And again, this is a general example. Obviously, individual situations have to be adjudicated in a very specific manner. But the point I'm getting at is it's rare for someone in that environment to get fired for misconduct in the romantic zone, because this took place in the romantic zone. And then especially when someone is that high up. Now, some people some people have said that, or at least have implied that there was some racism against him involved in his firing. I'll just say this: that wouldn't make it unwarranted. Let me just say it like this: racism is always unwarranted, but if there was racism involved in his firing, all that means is that they're letting, white people get away with too many things. That doesn't mean he should have been allowed to get away too. And I'll just leave it at that. Let me move. Abu Mamadi ha ba ba ba. Abu Mamadi ha pa pa pa. Abu Mamadi ha ni wa ya. Abu Mamadi ha ye ha. Abu Mopare gizenu nuwa. Abu Mopare wane sansone bla bu Mamadi ha. Abu Mamadi ha. Abu Moki geka. Abu si say sa, Abu mo bari say wa, Abu mo madio he, Abu mo madio Abu mo madio no go ya, Abu mo go madio Abu mo madio ka Abu mo ki ke ka, Abu ogo ka, Abu ogo ni ogo ha, Abu ogo madio Abu ogo ki ke ka. All Madio, hey, all Kika, Abu Morgan Egazanua, Abu Morgan on the Sun Soneba, Ezebu Madio, Ezebu Kika, Abu Madio and Ezebua, Abu Madio and Ezebua, Ezebu Madio, Ezebu Kika, Abu Mopar is a kaka, Abu Mopar is a kanua, Ezebu Madio. Ezebu Kika. Abu Mamadi Hanezea, Abu Mamadi Hanezea, Abu Mamadi Hamezea, Anemeza Mamadio. I'm amazing, I'm Mamadio. I think that's really the point. It's just the fact that he chose to got, or the fact that Michigan actually went through with firing him makes him look bad. So yeah, overall, it just looks like he's a horrible person. Because I can't describe the crime he's been charged with this one thing. It just looks like a case of endless evil. Anyway, so that's that. This will be an aggression segment. We're almost at the 70-minute mark, but I'm gonna go beyond that. I'm just gonna be working. So thank you for joining me. And stick around. Thank you. Abu Mamadiyo hu hu hu. Abu Mamadiyo hu hu hu. Abu Mamadiyo ha 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 ha. Abu aggression on aggression no ha aggression ha aggression he hey ha. Abu Mamadiyo ha ne ke ya. Abarin keke bu Mamadiyo ha. Abu Mamadiyo keke neba. Abu Mabarin keke neba ha. Hua hua ha ha. Muadua kaka, Abu Maka Amadioha, Abu Mako Kikeka. Alright. Abu Mamadioha he. Abu Mamadioha. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Abu Mamadioha ha. Abu Mamadioha ni way. Abu Mavadioha va. Aneme vadio karaya abu mada karatata ta abum karata abum karata abum ta abum ta welling kelling kuku ka welling kelling kuku welling kelling mone jide uku welling kelling mone hitcha Shine gele kaka hoo ha, onyado kaka. Shine gele mere he ha, shine gele bu onye ka. Ele bu azuya, abum shine gele ka. Abum shine gele wa. Ha, abum amadi you ho. Abum amadi you what say you. Abum amadi you 1, 2, 2. Abum amadi you what say you. Abu Madiwa hey ha. Abu Madiwa ni way. Abu Mabaran cake ni meha. Abu Mabaran cake ni meha. Abu Mabaran cake on a koa. Abu Mabaran cake on a boa. Abu Mabaran cake ka. Abu Mabaran cake ka. Ha. All right, we passed the 70-minute mark. Happy New Year. Let's go. What am I figuring out? Format for the write-ups of 4 different types of videos. Let's go. This is the work section. All right, let's just go video types ekwansu uko. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo kizenu na wa. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo bobe. Kamalokara hiye nuwa. Kamlamere hiye nuwa. Abumamadiyo ha wa. Abum awa madiyo ha. Abumamadiyo ha nimeo ha. Wuru mere hiye ha. Wuru bua hiye ha. Ehihe ha. Abumamadiyo ha nimeo ha. Abumamadiyo ha hihe ha. Abumamadiyo ha nimeo ha. Abumamadiyo ha hihe ha. Kamala kaka. Kamala karana uwa. Abumamadiyo ha hihe ha. Abumamadiyo ha nimeo ha. Abumamadiyo ha nimeo ha. Ha he. Abumamadiyo ha bobe. Abumamadiyo ha hiye ha. Abumapare kezenu nuwa. Abumaparamone sansone beze kachibueze. I am a madio hiye. I am a madio hippipere. I am a madio 1 2 3. Abuma madio what say he? Who? Kamalu kaka. Kamalu karana uwa. Kamalu kika. Abumonyeke zenu biara nuwa. Kamalu kaka. Kamalu karana uwa. Kamalu kika. Abumonyeke zenu biara osa. Abumonyeke zenu ha. Abumonyeke zenu mone baba. Hua ha. Muadu kaka. Abumuadu kanuwa. Abumuadu ha. Abumamadiyo hiye. Abumamadiyo hippipere. Abumamadiyo bobe. Abumamadiyo kamele. Kaka. Kakara. Abumamadiyo hiye ha. Abumamadiyo hanimeo ha. Abumohara ha. Abumohawara ha. Abumohaneke zenunuwa. Abumohamone sansoneba. Sansoneba kaka. Sansoneba nawa. Sansoneba ha. Abumohadiyo hiye ha. Hiye ha. Abumamadiyo hiye. Abumamadiyo ha what say ye? Abumamadiyo ha who ha. Alright, let me speed through this. So, first, let me do opposite colors. So in the top right quadrant, the Amadioha, I have animal videos. Okay. And then top left, I have Chukwele, and I'll just call them raw, non-animal clips. Okay. I'm just categorizing them differently just because I'm going to present them differently, even though those are both raw, unedited clips. So, can I even call these raw animal videos? Nah. Anyway, it's the same in my mind. Okay. Then, just the colors are alternating kind of. Look what I have so far. Then, and then side note, for write-ups for live streams, I just go in and I just write at will. So I'm not going to put that there. That's kind of the most loose. Because going clockwise, starting the top right, because these are all for pre-recorded videos. This is going from least to most complicated to write up. So what are the other two? So let's see. There's the Atu Matu Amadioha, just your standard pre-recorded edited videos, although those are not standard. Those are the most work. Atu Matu Amadioha. And let me just put the symbol. Amadioha hiye ha kaka. then I'll just put pre-recorded and well-edited video. I'll just say well-edited. And then the UKWU shorts. Yes. I call them Allah, land, matter. Kaburnam Nagaha. Hear ye, hear ye. Short videos that are shot horizontally are a form of matter, also called land, also called a base. They should be the base of any media company operation. That doesn't mean they take the most work. That doesn't mean they're your biggest product, but they're your base. When in doubt, get some land. Abu Muhammadiyu yeah, post a short. Abu Muhammadiyu kana huwa. Abu Muhammadiyu yeah. Abu Muhammadiyu iman. Abu Muhammadiyu yeah. Abu Muhammadiyu nezaya. Abu Muhammadiyu Abu Muhammadiyu is NWERE mandiyu. Is Muhammadiyu is UGOJI Aka. Alright. So let's give Allah her symbols. I'm not going to be here too much longer. My battery's going to go down. When the battery's a bit lower, I'm going to just dip. Thank you for joining me so far. Now what's the format for all of them? Animal videos I want to be able to put up relatively quickly. Here we go. Okay, so animal videos will just have the base that I need for anything. So let me do a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna have its own leg actually. Let's okay, I get it. Let's do, so first they're gonna have a greeting. And then let's just do the Quincy symbol. Kala kanumere yenua. Then let me just give, after the greeting, I'll give 2 pieces of information about myself. Abu Muhammadiyu yeha. Abu Muhammadiyu nimeha. Abu Muhammadiyu kezenunua. Abu Muhammadiyu yeha. Abu Muhammadiyu ho ha. Kamalu karana uwa. Alright, then third, I'm just gonna describe the video. And really more specifically the contents of the video. And then the fourth one, I'm sort of debating what it is, but it'll just come out now. Let my ancestors intervene. Kaburnam no goha. Oh God. So fourth, I'm just gonna give business info. So like, you know, what just where to buy stuff and how to donate. AKA Black Business. UGOJI. Chocoloco, the business. Alright. So then you got that. Abu Muhammadiyu yeha. Abu Muhammadiyu nimehua. Abu Muhammadiyu wa. So that'll really be the base for all of them, but each of them will have an add-on. Do I want to check for that add-on now or later? Let me just think. I think all right, let's start going clockwise. So what's the addition for each of them? My battery's low. Let's move. It's at 22. So what's the addition for shorts? The addition for shorts is going to be just one thing. I'm going to add a fifth thing. And that is going to be a full name info send off. Yeah, so I'll give, you know, my government name, and if I haven't already, but I'll give it again. My given name, foremost nickname, alternate white structure name, all of that. Whereas with the animal videos, I won't necessarily. After I just give the business info, I'll just say thank you or goodbye, you know. Because I have to. I guess I'll just go thank you very much, goodbye. Should I do that every time I give business? No, I think I'll just be flexible. Because I don't want to over instruct myself. But this feels a little weird. Anyway. Okay. You know what? I think I just have to have it in my head that after each last block of writing, and my battery's low, I'll be getting out of here soon. After each last block of writing, I just put thank you, goodbye, or something to that effect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll keep that, but not doing that's giving me anxiety. All right. Anyway, I think I have to think more, but I think I'm gonna get out of here. I'll probably be back later with some live stream. Check out the art pieces I put up for the last one, the Ugoji about Cheyenne Bryant, and then the art piece for this one will go on. And also check out the source art piece I put up on NWERE. And I also put up art pieces about Uwama. Check that out as well. Thank you very much. Once again, this has been CHIMAOGE here. Again, I've been talking about the Sherrone Moore situation and how he looks to be a terrible person. I pray that that situation gets resolved, and I also pray that we can fully figure out what happened there and do justice. Thank you very much. See you next time. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye. Boom.